What a beautiful day, beautiful temperatures, beautiful weekend. I should not be doing anything inside a beehive this time of year. But I do have one we need to look at. Well, hey there folks, this is Barry's Best Honey. I'm Mike and I do bees. Welcome back to Southeast Louisiana, back to my bee yard. Remember guys, not a how-to video, don't do those. I'm vlogging my beekeeping experience. And that's really all it is. Just out here doing what I do as an average guy to keep bees alive, as a hobby beekeeper to keep bees alive. Now, just to get the formalities out of the way, if you happen to like this video, please don't forget to go down and give it a thumbs up. If you don't mind, of course. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Doesn't cost you anything. Anyway, so it is November 6th. I am normally never ever in a colony this time of year. Not because it's too cold, not because of that. It's because they're done. Winter preparation. You can go up on the internet right now at this time of year and you can pull up preparing a hive for winter. Man, I bet there'll be 1,000 come up. Because that's what everybody's doing right now. Preparing bees for winter should start after your honey harvest, in my opinion, down here where we're at now. I'm not talking to all you great folks up north. You guys do things totally different when it comes to the winters because your winters are so long. We have to get through, at the worst, winter 4 months, usually 3.5. But other than that, we really don't have to get through a lot. Our bees don't have to have as much food as we may think sometimes, but they do need to have a lot based on going out and foraging in our warm winters. See, that's one of the issues we do have, is they will forage in the warm winters, and unless there's a lot of wild mustard blooming, they won't find much of anything, and they'll burn a lot of food that way. But again, we just have to get through 3.5 months. So yeah, we have to have some food for when they're foraging and can't find anything to bring back, but it's pretty easy to let me think of the word, maybe recover, or I don't know, tend to, if something is starting to go south real quick. Anyway, because up north, of course, you guys, some of y'all are wrapping, some of y'all, you'll go everybody from Ian Stepler down to the smallest hobby beekeeper. Some people wrap, some people put in sheds, some people put big giant wraps and let the snow cover them and all that. Now, that preparation I understand, but that's where preparation for me, I believe, in the south down here starts, is after honey harvest. There's no prepare for winter, put them to bed for winter like I hear a lot of folks saying down here in my yard. I just make sure we're getting fed and treatments are getting done and all that. Now, as far as feeding goes, I think I said it in the video, ideally you give them some 1-to-1 through the dearth and going into September before the goldenrod, and they'll build up nice and heavy, and then you'll turn around and let the goldenrod supplement whatever else is left, and usually you're fine and your feeding's done. Well, what I do, my hives, I don't ever touch the deeps, and I run double deeps and then mediums for honey. I don't ever touch the double deep part of it for honey. And when I do that, my deeps coming out of the honey harvest, are super heavy. So like 90% of my colonies are fat, dumb, and happy. So I let the goldenrod flow, see what it's going to do, and then I feed 2-to-1. But again, ideally, and I heard Bob Benny talk about this, if you feed during the dearth and going into the goldenrod, you'll bulk them up enough then where you don't even feed at all going into the after goldenrod. But then again, there's always those colonies. So I had a couple of those colonies. The nuke you saw, which we caught on a tree, that was an abscond from somewhere around here. They're going to need to be continued to be fed. So that's what we're going to do today, is going to open them up, because I don't ever open colonies this late. But since it's a brand new one and they've taken down 1 jar of 1-to-1 and 1 jar of 2-to-1, I'm going to put another 2-to-1 on and a fresh pollen patty and supplement them some more, because we've still got warm temps in the days. We're 65 in the afternoons, Fahrenheit of course, and we're mid 40s to mid 50s in the evenings. I like this hat. Jose, California beekeeper. So anyway, that's what I just got doing. I was mixing up a little bit of feed. I was watching Hooterville Honey's mix up feed last night. He found a nice immersion heater. I think he said he got it at Tractor Supply. Hooterville Honeybees. He's up in Michigan. Michigan, right? Yeah, Michigan. It's cold where he's at because he goes ice fishing. and he raises queens up there for you Michigan folks. Very, very knowledgeable beekeeper, man. Very low key on video wise and all that, as far as what he just shows you what he's doing. And man, he's a very knowledgeable beekeeper. But he was mixing feed last night with his Minn Kota motor. I've yet to have to use my Minn Kota in my drum that I've built with the spout, because I don't know, I don't take that much out of their deeps. They don't end up needing a lot of feed. So I hadn't got to use my Minn Kota yet, but that's what he was doing last night. I was watching him with an immersion heater. I like that immersion heater idea. The ones I've looked at are all $200 and $300. So I was thinking about a regular water heater one, but then I have to have a metal drum. Anyway, he got an immersion heater for his drum, and he was mixing feed, and I like that idea. Need to look into somehow figuring it out. But my little water heater will kick the temp up to 140, and that's what I just got done doing. Just mixing 5-gallon buckets right now, because that's really all I need. After the goldenrod flow, again, there was only 4 colonies, and now after feeling one out there, it's done. One over here is on the edge. I'll give it probably another gallon. I'm gonna take a gallon out to the north yard out there, because they got about half the gallon done over here. I'm sure that's about the same up there. And they were very light, that single, so I know they could probably use a 2nd gallon. And then we're gonna feed the nuke, but we're nurturing one. You guys know I don't like to nurture colonies, but let's go nurture a colony. Again, mixing the feed up, that's done. So I'm gonna bottle up the feed for them. We'll take it out there. I got a pollen patty out of the freezer that's thawed. Give them a little more supplement. I think they're gonna do all right, guys. Who knows? We gotta look inside and see. I haven't been in them since we went in that video of ours. But they are picking up a little bit of weight. So far they've had half a gallon, and we'll give them another quart and see what they do. Let's go do something. It's such a beautiful day. Beautiful day. There they are. It's still kind of cool over here in the shade, so they're not out flying a whole lot. Let's take a look and see what they look like. Again, a very unusual inspection for me this late, but hey, it's good to get into bees every now and again, huh? This is why I don't nurture colonies that often. When I'm done in the season, I'm done. But hey, you got to do something with them. You couldn't just leave them lay there. I wonder too about bees and things like that. Is that abscond? Where were they going? Maybe there's a hollowed tree with some old comb from another colony. Could that be the case? Where would they go and be able to establish? And granted, our winters are mild, I get that. But where would they have established? How quickly would they have been able to establish on their own? Would they have made it? Up north, they wouldn't have made it. Down here, good chance they'd make it if they find the right place. But they absconded at the end of the nectar flow, so it just makes you wonder sometimes. So, hey, we did the right thing. I'm burning up in this sweatshirt. I should have took it off. It's already getting warm out. I popped this jar out earlier this morning. They didn't like that. Alright. Yeah, they're still kind of cool in there because they're not moving fast. They're just kind of hanging out. I'll put that over there. I got 3 holes in the jar that I'm putting in. Oh, they hadn't even messed with the patty. See the beetles? That's why I don't like these patties down here. They get in these patties and they lay eggs. They're just so small. Let's see if we got any beetles laying larvae in here. Doesn't smell good. Now, it did take them a while to eat that jar, so we may not. Let's see what they're looking like. Remember, I don't know if you remember or not, I didn't want to put a lot of frames in here because they had to be able to cover what they had. They were just bigger than a 2 frame, but at the same time, too small for a 5 frame. So I gave them a foundation in this comb. So what I'm probably going to do is take out a frame. Well, I don't know. They're putting the nectar way in there. They filled that up with nectar. Now they did not draw this, okay? This was already drawn out, this little bit on here. This was just something I had to give them to get them by. But those beetles, you don't want those in here one bit whatsoever. I'm probably not even, oh, I see the queen already. I'm probably not going to put, I just saw her. I'm probably not going to put a pollen patty back on. This is a heavy frame. I just saw her. Boy, they're tiny, huh? There she is. And very good suggestions from people. And one of them was to treat them. So you give them the best shot. Give them some oxalic acid while they were broodless. She's now got brood, so that's good. And there's some of the pollen. Can y'all see that? Let me see. Yeah, I'll see that pollen there. They store pollen. And they've got brood. Make sure that's not the queen. Okay. You just never know. They really don't need that fourth frame. Let's put her in here. Put her right here. That way we know she's fine. We'll pull this frame out. So there. They're small, guys, but and they can make it through our winter. If they've got food, they should be able to, but everything is full. So look at all the pollen, bee bread in there. I'm sure some of that is supplement, but they were bringing in a little bit of pollen about a week ago, so I mean, they're backfilling everything with nectar like they should, but they've got so much space and can't allow them to have too much. Look, there's a beetle. Got that one. Just got to be so careful with a colony this small. The beetles are winding down, but guys, you just don't know what can happen sometimes. You know, we can't tell. We see them winding down, but we don't know. It doesn't take but one good egg laying of those beetles and it's over. So I don't know that I'll leave that other frame in there. That one had pollen all over her legs. Yeah, see, here you go. Here's what I'm talking about. Look. There you go. Look at the little ones. See them? Those are eggs hatching of these small hive beetles. So they won't get another patty in here. I won't put this back in. They'll just have to do with the pollen they got. Looks like they've got enough for such a tiny colony. Got enough honey for a tiny colony. We'll put the feed on there. But they do have, you know, some stores. Not a lot, but they're so small. I'm looking at this and they're barely guarding 3. So this needs to probably come out. This old pollen patty. It needs to be gone. I'll throw it in the freezer. Feed it back to some bees later. And the one we're going to put on, we're not going to put on. That's just that's a problem. That's a accident waiting to happen kind of thing. So we'll give them the food. It's not going to hurt them. They got space to put it. I'm going to leave that frame in there for now. I think we should be okay. I'm just going to leave it in there for now and watch them. That way I do give them a place to put more honey. Or I'm sorry, feed. Let's give them this. That's some 2-to-1. They've actually put a lot of stores in there. We're gonna leave that for them. But it's so small. I suspect there's some bees out right now, so we're not seeing the true picture of what's in there, but they're only covering about 3 frames. And that was kind of the case when we put them in here. I remember telling a commenter about that, one of our viewers, and saying, look, they were, you know, he was suggesting a 3-frame, and he was right. That would be perfect for this. I don't have a 3-frame box. My buddy used to have some 3-frame boxes. They're nice, But I got a 2-frame, and that's a little bit too small. They would fit. I shouldn't say it's too small. It would work, but it limits. Like, there's 3 frames in there being used right now, so it limits what they can utilize for storing nectar. But 5 frames was too many, so it was kind of that, you know, that compromise in between. But he was right, 3 frame would be perfect, but I don't have it, so we're gonna leave them 4 frames, keep an eye on this jar, get a warm day, I may go back in them and see what they look like, make sure we're not being overrun by beetles. I'll give them about a week and make sure. Beetles should be on the decline, but don't want to take any chances. That things can get ahead of these bees so fast if they're not strong. It's just something I've grown accustomed to, is looking at space and just not leaving them too many frames or too much open space. It's just, you get burned enough in beetles down here that you kind of learn that. And you can save colonies by reducing space quick. I know that. I've done that. You got to see what I got to see. Will they make it? Who knows? They seem to be doing fine, though. They seem to be working. They're doing everything they're supposed to. Get rid of the mites, if that's what drove them out of their last colony. They've gotten a chance to put food away. They're doing that. They've put pollen away and some of the pollen sub away. So we'll give them this last jar. That should be fine for them. Remember, it may not be 40 pounds of stores, but they don't need 40 pounds of stores as small as they are. So we'll give them a chance to put a little bit more nectar away or feed, and we'll see what they do. I tell you what, on this colony right here, a good thing with this one to do with it, I was watching John at Baddest Bees, and he's got him some grooves in his deeps where he can put a piece of glue on in between them and make two nukes out of one deep box. And then you can keep the 2 queens separate and you share the warmth. And it's similar to what what's his name, Michael Palmer does up in Vermont. And I've seen it, and I've read about it here and there, but never gave it much thought. I mean, it's just not cold climates, and it doesn't, the practice of nukes and double nukes and all that stuff on top of boxes doesn't really do anything for me in my management style or my climate or whatever. So it was one of those things when he was doing his video, it was like the light bulb went off, boom. And he was talking about putting that small colony in a double nuke, meaning he was going to put it next to another 5-framer in the same box to share the heat. That would be a good candidate for that. Man, I need to build some of those. I need to at least have grooves chopped in all my deeps that I make from here on out, so if I need one, I have one, because that would be perfect right now. Now, I don't have another nuke to really put in that one that I can think of, I guess. Well, actually I do. I got one up north, and that would be a good candidate for it, but I don't have any of those boxes, so I can't do that. Anyway, I don't have any of those boxes, can't do that right now, and really don't want to haul that little thing way up north with that other nuke. Want to be able to keep an eye on that thing. So the other alternative would be since I don't have any of those boxes built like John has, and like I need to build, and which I will build when I build new deeps, I will put a groove in all of them. What I could do is stick that over a double screen divider board. I got plenty of 10-frame double screen divider boards. I don't have lids to adapt it to go on there, and I'm surely not going to put them in a 10-frame box for them to try and keep warm. It is 3/4 inch plywood. They should be okay. We'll watch them. Let's just hope as that brood comes out in the next 3 weeks, they build up enough to have enough bees, and they should. And then by the time we get into December, which is usually where our coldest months come, is December, January, and the beginning of February, then hopefully they'll be fine. That's it, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and call it a day. It's a little concerning to watch them, but again, that's a late. That's the problem with those late balls of bees, because I'm not gonna call it a swarm, because I believe it's an abscond. I really do. I just have not seen swarms, and I'm not saying it can't be a swarm. What I'm saying is I've just never seen them down here this late. It's usually something that absconded, and I'm guessing from the woods maybe. So that's why you don't mess with them. But it was right there. What do you do? Well, that's what you do, and now you have to nurture it. All right, guys, that's going to be it. I appreciate everybody watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please don't forget to get a thumbs up. If you don't mind, of course. Don't forget to share this video with your friends, family, anybody that just enjoys watching bees. It's Barry's Best Honey. I'm Mike, and I do bees. Y'all have a wonderful afternoon. May Lord God bless you. We'll see y'all later.